Hey, welcome back to another episode of Wealth Wednesday. I am talking with CEO and founder of the Gatlic Group, Stephen Morris, and today we are going to talk over a little topic about cash is king. We are following that up from our previous conversation that I had with you on the phone, and why it's important for businesses to have access to cash, especially now with everything happening with our government and temporary shutdowns and things like that.
That's right. Well, the funny thing is that when we say that term cash is king, I don't think people realize how important that is. You have to have cash in order to be liquid and to be able to do the things with your business that you want to do. Here's the one thing about business that a lot of people don't understand. Hiccups and hurdles are going to come up. Just like in life, things happen that are unexpected. And just like if you owned a home, if let's say your radiator blew out or your AC unit blew out, it's easier to handle that issue if you have cash. And the same holds true for a business. The problem is most businesses are barely getting by. They're skimming by the skin of their teeth. And every day is, how am I going to make it? How am I going to be able to make payroll meet? How am I going to be able to afford a new stove or any new equipment for my business? We have a way where now you don't have to wait to get those funds when it comes to either credit card processing or what we have now, our buy now, pay later platform. That buy now, pay later platform is actually really, really cool because in this day and age, people want the ability to be able to get goods and services, and then they kind of pay over time. That's why Affirm and Klarna and all of those financial infrastructures are built. Even with businesses in our area, you have OneMain and Republic Finance. What happens is people go because they can't afford to pay all of it right now, but they still need it. Well, we have that ability to offer that to the businesses in America to be able to offer a buy now, pay later service. And here's the great part. The business gets all their money up front. Now the burden of the payment is on the consumer. So cash is definitely king. Don't be fooled. I know we're in the Cash App, Venmo, Zelle generation, but you need cash to survive.
I remember being a business owner myself and having to worry about how I was going to get supplies and things like that, and choosing suppliers that offered a buy now, pay later option helped me as a small business. So I can only imagine how much more that was going to help another small business in the area that, it has higher end products such as, transmissions or Botox or things like, that people feel like they need right away. A transmission, I know you have to have.
Well, yeah, you got to ride your car. But then again, think about it. In the summertime, you had people that wanted pools and they wanted to get their yard landscaped. And I mean, we're Americans. We're a capitalist country. And so we want what we want when we want it. The problem is, how do we pay for it? And so you have to offer different alternatives to businesses to get paid, to stay in business, and to stay liquid. And so when we sit down with the customer, we ask those questions. It's more than just taking Visa, MasterCard, American Express, and Discover. It's tell me what your pain point is about getting cash in the door. How fast can I get paid, and how quickly can I make it for the consumer to pay me with all the options? Because you may have a business that credit card processing may not be a good fit for them. They may be a B2B logistics company that their business has been run primarily by always receiving checks. But what's the problem with that? Well, the check's in the mail. Well, when did you mail the check? Did you put a stamp on it? Now those things become bigger factors. So when we sit down with a business owner, it's a matter of, let's see where your pain point is and how quickly can we alleviate that so you get paid. We all want to get paid.
Everybody wants to get paid, and that's important. And and even some other businesses that I think of too are like cleaning businesses. Those commercial cleaning businesses, when they're on a net 30 or some of them even go out to net 90. With depending on what type of business they're cleaning for. So that's a big stretch when you're a small business and you're trying to pay employees and everything else, so that if you have that option to bring in money today, and I know that I'm still going to get that check in the mail later on, that's a nice benefit that you do offer to businesses.
Every day that an invoice is outstanding, it's costing the business. Think about it. Every day that I'm waiting for that check, it's costing me money because I still have to operate in the deficit. And so when we sit down and talk to businesses, like if you're net 30, let's be honest, most of your payees are going to pay when? They're going to pay on the 30th day.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get that check really till day 36 or day 37. Every day that you're waiting for that money to hit, it's going to cost you money. So sometimes, and the one thing that I'm learning, Carrie, is that the problem with most business owners is they're very stubborn. They don't want to change the way that they've done business. Oh, well, this is the way we've always done that. You probably heard that. But just because it's the way that you've always done it doesn't mean it's the correct way. And so sometimes you need to have a come to Jesus moment with a lot of business owners and say, hey, look, consider this. Let's see if we can get more cash flow coming in. And if we can't do that, then we can always go back to the way that it was before. But most of the times when we sit down with a customer, we create a way for them to get paid, honestly, a net 7. If you can get paid net 7 or less, you'll be a thriving business.
Absolutely. That's amazing. And yes, it's important to note that, it's time to make changes even when it's uncomfortable, because it pushes you out of that comfort zone. And if you have the ability to not be stressed anymore,
right,
and you have a little bit more cash in your pocket, you're going to feel like you're a little bit more successful than you were the day before, because now I feel like I'm receiving what I'm worth or more, and I can walk a little taller, walk a little, straighter, because I'm not all slunched over being stressed from the burden of worrying where the money's coming from and when it's coming in. And then, again, you're a little bit nicer to your employees because you're not stressed.
You're nicer to your customers too.
Yeah.
It's the funny thing, I love what you just said about, one of the things you said was that, a lot of business owners, they're stressed and they're trying to figure out how the money's coming in, but they don't want to make the change. And my thing is, you have to make the changes. If it's affecting your health, affecting the well-being of your employees, change is necessary. And when you think about the areas in your life where you grew the most, you had to change in some way, some shape, some form. My dad used to always say, and this is kind of funny, he would always say, people don't like change, but you have to change to grow. If you don't think that you've changed, try wearing the underwear that you wore when you were 12. They're not going to fit because you grew.
Right.
And so, yeah, it can be uncomfortable, but overall, the reason why we're here as the Gatlic Group is we want to help you. If we can't help you, we're men and women enough to say, hey, you know what, we're not a good fit. And that's what people want nowadays. If you can bring value, bring value. The money will always follow the excellence, right? Don't chase money, but give the people the opportunity to sit down, give them a true evaluation and assessment of their business, and then go from there. And that's how we've been able to thrive for the last 20 years.
And that's amazing. And I love that, 20 years strong and building, one client at a time. And that's what you're here to do. And I appreciate your time today.
No problem. Thank you.
Thanks.